Hey everybody, I'm Izzy Swan. Welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to show you how I made this impossible weaved trivet type thingy. So obviously it's not impossible, that just SEO's better. Now there is a trick to making this work, and this is my second attempt. My first one I did out of walnut, it looked like this. And I did not leave enough room between the back of the cross sections, so it ended up with a curve in it. Now, this is kind of like a magic trick. It's really cool when you see it because you're not quite sure how it works. Once you figure out how it works, it's almost a little bit of a letdown because most of the time it's really simple. Check out the video, watch how we do it. It is a really cool effect. I will tell you, this is a ton of work. For this particular build, I designed the parts in SketchUp and I cut them out with my CNC machine. Now you could definitely do it with a bandsaw router and a router template. It would just be a lot more work. Now with a CNC machine, you have to leave these tabs that kind of keep the parts all together so they don't come flying apart on the CNC. And to cut the tabs off, I use a flush trim bit that's made for laminate countertops in my handheld router, and that does a really nice job of getting rid of the tabs, especially around curved parts. Now I wanted to round over all four sides of all 18 pieces to make this. There's 9 rows and 9 columns to make this whole thing. And that took a while. So the CNC doesn't, give you a super nice finish. So when you have the part come off the machine, you have to take it over and clean it all up. And to do that, I used a flap wheel sander, which made the work go quite a bit quicker. Now after I had all the parts sanded, I like to mess around with things like this just to see what kind of different patterns I can create, especially when I'm, putting quite a bit of work into doing it. So I messed around with a couple different patterns I could make with these particular shape types of pieces, and it was kind of fun. There was some interesting stuff. After I got done messing around, it was time to start putting this thing together. Now, you can actually start weaving this to a certain point, but once you get past 3 rows one way and 2 the other, it becomes impossible to keep going. So the trick here, and this is kind of the letdown part, is that you cut the rows where the tops overlap the piece. So all the cuts will be on one side of the panel. And to do that, you'll take 9 pieces and then you cut them wherever they overlap the bottom row. And this is where you have to pay attention to what's going on, because you want to keep all the pieces in line so the grain structure is the same, and you need to cut them. One row gets cut on one side, and the other one gets cut on another high point. So if that makes sense, they kind of jog back and forth. So in this case, 5 of the rows got cut starting with a really short piece, and 4 of the rows got cut starting with a little bit of a longer piece. And to lay those out, I just numbered my table 1 through 9 and then skipped each row. I hope that makes sense. So to start this thing, I just used my pin nailer to pin this all together. As it is just an experiment, if this was something I was going to use, I'd probably try to wood glue it or fasten it in a better way. So even with my rows and everything laid out perfectly, it was hard to kind of keep track of everything. So it got a little bit tricky, and you really have to pay attention to what's going on to make sure that it all comes together properly. Now on the first one I did, you'll see that towards the end of the video, I didn't leave enough of a space between the section where they overlap, where the pieces meet, and it ended up with a giant curve. And I'll show you that at the end of the video. It's pretty cool looking still though. Now, even putting this together with just a pin nail and coming together, this took about 45 minutes to get all together, to put it all together. And if you were to glue this up, this would probably be a 1.5-day project. You glue up a section and then put it together, glue up another section and put it together. And that's what it looks like. Now I went through and just ran a pin nail on top of each one of the sections from the face down, just to kind of help solid everything up, and then sanded it out and finished it. Cedar is one of my favorite woods, and I use cedar for this project. It looks pretty bland right now, but when you add a finish to cedar, that kind of orangish, almost, I don't know, almost a rusty color to it, really pops, and I really enjoy that type of look. Much how it's done. Now, if you look at the back of this, you will see some of the cracks and obviously some of the nails, but if you would take your time, glue those up, you could really make those pretty invisible if you really wanted to. A lot of extra work. Also, on the back of this one, you can see that the gaps are really big, and I just hot glued this all together, but that's just the way it ended up because I didn't leave enough space in there for some movement. And it looks cool from the front, from the back, not so much. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I'm going to start trying to put content out again on Thursdays and Sundays, so twice a week. New videos every Thursday afternoon and Sunday morning. You know, if you're not already subscribed, I invite you to do so. Lots and lots of fun content put out here on this channel. I've got 370 some videos that I've recorded over the past few years, so go check some of those out, some really fun builds. Thank you again for watching. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, do that. Check me out on Instagram if you want to see what's happening in the shop as it's happening in the shop. Links are all in the description box. And you can check out these videos. They're fun. You should check them out. We'll talk to you later.